Welcome to Alpha Code videos. This is a demonstration of a couple of things. One is a very basic trouble ticket application and just some jQuery UI interface stuff, and this is going to be our first test video up on the site demonstrating some of what is possible with the technologies that we use and some of the talent behind it. What we have here is Komodo Edit. Komodo Edit is my IDE. Well, Komodo IDE, sorry, it's my editor of choice, and we have here opened a trouble ticket application. This is a web-based application, and it is running on CherryPy with Python backend, MySQL Lite as the database, and jQuery as the Java interface. Now, what we have here is basically just a basic web server, but all of the web server code is custom code using CherryPy. So this is basically just a send receive code, and this is the configuration for the web server: root folder, CSS folder, image folder, whatever. So this is a definition of port and a couple other different settings that are set here, but all of this code is custom code. So basically you build your own web server, you configure it how you want, and then you write methods to take care of the different actions you want the page to complete, do task, whatever. Since this is just a test video, I'm not really gonna delve much into any topic right now, but what I'm basically going to focus on is just show you the application. Now, the way I start this application, the way you would start this application, is just by running a py file on the server or the PC, whichever machine the application is running on. But in Komodo, we just hit this button right here, and it will fire up the application and run the application on port 8082. Now the application is running in production mode. If it was running in demo mode, you'd see a bunch of code in this window, but it's just running in demo mode right now. We're gonna open up Internet Explorer 9, which is one of the browsers we support. We support Internet Explorer 9. We support Firefox 3.6 to 4, that is coming out shortly, and we also support Chrome in all the versions. Chrome doesn't really have versions. So now the application is running, we're gonna browse to our local host, and we're gonna go to port 8082. And they should load our trouble ticket application. This is our trouble ticket application in its most basic state. The reason why this page looks so unprofessional and just basic right now is because the environment that this application was designed to run in is dominated mostly by Internet Explorer 6, which is the most insecure, incompatible with web standards browser there is. So in order to make sure that people could see the application and use the application in some kind of proper way, we had to reduce the amount of CSS and JavaScript formatting we put into the page. So this is just bare necessities. Some of the effects on the page, like if I mouse over, the labels change color. If I click in a text box, the text box gets a little bigger. If you type in it, the letters change color. All those effects don't work in Internet Explorer 6. When you go to this application, Internet Explorer 6, it's the most basic application you could possibly get. Now, to explain a few things about this application, it's just more or less application that I designed for my boss at work, and he wanted just a basic trouble ticket system, a way to track inventory, well, to track troubles and eventually do other things. What I'm going to show you is a bit of the functionality of this page. This page is pretty basic. It does two things. It allows you to log into the application and also see the status of a trouble ticket. So when you have a problem with your machine and you report it, you get a number. You take your number and you enter your number into this little text box called ticket ID. So let's say my machine caught fire or something and the MIS department took it away to look at it, and they gave me a number. So 2 weeks after seeing my machine, I want to know what's taking so long, if there's been any work done on the machine, am I going to get a replacement machine, what is the status of my trouble, more or less. So let's say the number they give me is 10. When I enter 10 into this box here and I hit find, it will return all the information on that particular trouble. If there was any work on it, if it was even reported, if there was any activities, anything added to it, if there was a need for that, if anything was in a memo saying that this happened, whatever, it returns that right there on this front page. So it allows any user in the organization that has access to the internal network to be able to get this application and input their trouble ticket number and get information on their trouble. So that's just one of the basic functionalities of this page. The second thing that this page does is, other than look very plain and boring, it allows you to log in to the application. So when you hit this login button here, you get a username and a password prompt. Right, I'm gonna sign in as the administrator because I am, and that is it. I'm in the application right now. So this is more or less what the application should look like. In IE 6, there's not necessarily the best represented. It doesn't look this good then, because that's why we made the decision to ultimately just stick to the latest browsers with the most web standards compliant browsers, because in order to keep our applications consistent across browsers, it is necessary for us to stay within the web standards and comply to those web standards. So we pick the most compliant browser. So right now that's IE9, which is only available in beta right now, and it's not released on XP, so only for Windows 7. There's Firefox 3.6, I believe, and there's also Chrome. Chrome is our choice, more or less, for ultimate standards compliant compatible browsers, not only because of the fact that it is standards compliant, but because the update system behind Chrome is automatic. So you always have the latest version of the Chrome browser installed on your system. The reason why I'm showing you this in IE9 is because I like this flat beta configuration. This is the beta version of IE9, and it allows me to be able to show you all the nuances of the application without having all the plugins and stuff that I have installed on Chrome cluttering. Now what I'm going to show you is just the basic functionality of the website. You can do a couple of things here in this application. One is that you could open a ticket. You receive a fault or whatever pertaining to some machine that has some problem, and you can open a ticket for the particular fault. Now when you open a ticket, you get these options that you can fill out and open a new ticket. You can edit a ticket. You've already added a ticket and a status has changed or whatever, you can edit the ticket right here. This is all the information. You can change the statuses and everything right here. You can also assign a technician. So if I log into the system, my name is John, and I am a technician and I would like to be assigned this particular job, and the job has no technician assigned to it yet, or I am replacing the current technician assigned to it. I just log into the system knows my username and password, and when I click assign, it will assign me as the technician to that job. There's also the add activities. This is where I can add an activity, replacing a hard drive, replacing a motherboard, and I can also specify how much time was spent doing that job. There's also a memo section here where you can add further information about the job or the status of the machine or why whatever took so long and whatnot, whether it was a problem procuring the part, whether it was a problem installing the OS, or it took a while to source a license copy of some software or whatever. You can mention that in the memo. There's also this date field that you can click on, and it reveals an entire table of different dates. You could scroll by month, by day, whatever, select which is the start date and the end date and whatever. You don't have to type anything in, so the date format stays consistent throughout the application, which is necessary for there to be concise queries, or accurate queries, sorry. Now, the next thing we're going to talk about is the table itself. Now, as you notice, there's a nice little CSS effect when you scroll over the different sections of the table. And there's also this search box, which allows you to search by whichever field is in the table. So you could search by open date, close date, ticket number, assigned technician, problem, status, department, hardware type, whatever. Once it is listed in the table, you can narrow down your search, those different fields. There's also the activities tab, which is just another tab, which is just a tab at the top of the application that just lists all the activities. So if you just want to search activities, for example, you want to know what's the most common activity done, you could come in here and look for it. If you want to see which activity was done to a particular machine or what was done to solve a particular trouble, you just come here, put in the trouble ticket number in the search box. Like for example, the demo number was 10. Type 10 in and it will narrow down the search. So here's 10 right here, and basically whatever happened there is listed here. What was the activity? So that's basically it. Does the this table also allows you to extend your field of view. So if I wanted to return the last 100 records, I could do that. If I just wanted to show the last 25, I can do that. Right, if I wanted to see the last 10, I could do that, and I could scroll through the different records using these number tabs at the bottom, or the first, last, and next previous buttons at the bottom.